I humbly accept this award on the fact that I survived 3 years, the last 2 or 3 years. But anyway, let's get to business. Hey, look at this. What's this? It's my unfinished projects here. This is, what do we got? Minions. Remember this? I bought this at Universal. One of the last things I bought. Great. It opens, it look like the Minions, right? But they're robots and they open up to show you the little Minions. So I'm going to try to put this together a little bit for a few minutes while I talk. Here you got, this is actually, I think this is Stuart. Stuart's the one with the two colored eyes, right? So there's Stuart there. I'm just going to try to put them together while I talk. So I remember I worked at the library for a while. This is where I'm at right now. I'm trying to put this here, put these structures on top. The pandemic had changed. Now, I think it's been over almost a whole year since the lockdowns have all the lockdown stuff has been lifted. The masks are gone. We don't have to wear a mask in stores anymore. You may still wear a mask if you're actually sick, but it's all optional now. But for, last year, for some of last year, we were fucked. We were fucked. My job, my volunteer position at the city of Alhambra, not Alabama, an Asian Pan-Asian American community in California called Alhambra. And there's Monterey Park that neighbors it. But it was, I'm looking at all the pieces here. I'm just going to take the pieces apart and put it back together. Where is my, yeah, I don't see it. So I have to use my nails. But there is an orange, lift. So I had to get this piece out. It's the 3x2. And working at the library, volunteering, I didn't get paid shit, okay? So these are my 3 jobs. Basically, I helped seniors with tech support. Okay, that's the first one. I did store. Basically, you manage the Friends of the Bookstore, the library bookstore. And I finally did a workshop to help people speak English. It wasn't a class. It was basically that, how do you use words? So I think I helped a couple of old ladies use flashcards and stuff. But it's how do you use words? How do you speak from Mandarin to English? Just basically it's trying to get people to communicate more. That's how it was. We did the communication workshop. The seniors with the tech support and the bookstore. And I also did senior tech support for another volunteering place. My life was not with money, but it was fulfilled. I was doing things that I really wanted to do to help people. And I thought to myself, if I worked a little bit longer, maybe I could get a job at the library. I could do some real library. I did a little bit of librarian work, helping out people who, wanted to know where books were. Now, luckily, what I had, that wasn't part of my job description, but if I was there, I took initiative. And you take initiative when you can't. If the initiative involves money or something that you can't control, then obviously you have to do, quote unquote, the right thing and get somebody else to take care of it. But if it's showing somebody where a book is, if I know the library inside and out, I don't think that would be uncalled for. I remember one of these white women at Human Resources at the library kind of gave me a look like what's he doing here? These same white people, whether they're Irish white, Polish white, German. I know you people. I know you in Hollywood like to boast with shade. I'm Finnish, Irish, Polish, French, German, and I'm better than you because you're just Jewish, Irish, German, British, and Finnish, and you're not as good as me because I'm this white. I don't care what shade of white you are. Okay, Irish, Italian, Polish white, doesn't matter what white you are. If you're being a stuck-up asshole, then you act like you're for all the colors of the rainbow. You're a fucking hypocrite and you're a liar. So don't act like you're better. But I see these stuck-up women in Human Resources, and it's annoying. But what can you do? But I thought to myself, I was doing these 3 things at the library. I loved doing volunteer work. I loved working with people. What was the problem? There was no problem. And then the lockdown. And then I met a pretty girl, Mandy. I don't think she's watching this, unfortunately. So hello to Mandy one day if you ever see my stuff. If you ever, I don't think she knows I have a YouTube channel, but that's all right. You know, I can't seem to find this gray piece. Oh, here it is. Ah, thank God. I was looking for this piece right here. There we go. So Mandy was this cute Asian girl. I think she was either, no, she was, might have been Vietnamese or Korean, but I don't think she was Chinese. Very cute girl. I kind of miss her, but I tried talking to her on a Sunday because she said she could call, I could call her anytime. Like, you want to talk on the phone? Because I miss, you know what? For those of you who are truly forced and alone, do you miss talking to girls on the phone? And why do you miss talking to girls on the phone? I sure do. Remember, girls used to talk on the phone for hours back in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s. And it's like, now it's like, well, since the 90s and 2000s, people text message and they listen to their iPod. They went from talking on the phone to their iPod to texting, and then finally just surfing the net on their phone. That's how it is. Women will find a jumping point to get to the next thing, okay? Just don't worry about too much. I got to get this black round piece. And somebody was talking about the Oscars, a side segue here, but the Oscars, since the 1940s, when you went to your favorite bar, you know, since you went to a bar in the 40s or the 50s, since Wally George, since Morton Downey Jr., since AM/FM radio, the controversial radio talk show host, or maybe somebody on late night, somebody would criticize the Oscars and say it is what it is. I mean, Dustin Hoffman's talked shit about it, but he still go to them, I think. Cary Grant would end up at the Oscars for the rest of his life until he died. And I think Sir Laurence Olivier made a couple of appearances at the Oscars. And now we just go to YouTube and talk shit. But anyway, whether that's materialistic, but I think I sense the materialism of my job, of my volunteer work at the library. Because after the lockdowns happened, I remember talking to the volunteer coordinator, and she said, you know, this will not take long. Famous last words, as taking long meant 2 years. Okay? I mean, 2 fucking years. I mean, actually, I would say, let's think about that. Because I started work at Universal in late 2021, so I would say a year and a half of lockdowns ending. But we still had mandatory mask mandates somewhere. You had to vaccinate, you still had vaccinations and mandates somewhere. And that affected the library operations, I'm sorry. And at some point I said, I didn't know, nobody knew what was going to happen. So I told her I had to move on, but then I couldn't find work, and then I told her I wanted to come back. Now, that might seem idiotic and say, well, you backpedaled, you should have just ended your relationship with the library, be done with it. Well, let me tell you, nobody knew what was going to fucking happen. Nobody knew. Joey Diaz said this morning. Nobody knew what was going to fucking happen between March of 20, because today marks the 3rd anniversary. That's why I'm talking about this. Between 2020 of March and now, or even late 2021, 2022, because by 2022, probably by the 2nd anniversary, the mandate started to lift, and people were still vaccinating but I think a lot of them were doing that to be not a racist, not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter, so I'm going to vaccinate. They did it for the wrong reasons. Some people got sick and some people died. I still did not vaccinate. You know, I still didn't do it, and I wasn't going to do it. But honestly, I'm okay with that. I can live with that because I took good care of myself. The only time I ever got sick was during the times I worked at Universal. But I took the time. I did the best I could. I do believe that's centered. Okay, let me just see if this piece is going to work. Here is this piece here. That's a nice piece, right? And I'm going to have to move I'm going to have to move Stewart and put this on here. Not Martha Stewart, but Minion Stewart. And put this square on the top. You can hear the Lego pieces snapping together. That is that one. So that was a big time. I mean, that was, so between March 2020 and then August, September, no, late September, right? So a year and a half for me out of work. But I think as early as June of 2021, I went back to volunteer. But I tried to get a library. Now I did try to apply for a job I needed a degree for at the library. But I applied anyway because I would do anything to work there because I liked the Asian community. I liked the small community of people, very educated, very peaceful. It wasn't East LA. It wasn't Compton. It wasn't, Detroit. It wasn't Whitetown necessarily, Hollywood or Burbank. It was a nice area, and it is a nice area, and it's not, like I said, I like the Asian communities more, okay? That's it. That's all there is to it. But, so I did my best, but once I signed up for Library Aid. The first level that I was qualified for was Library Aid at the Alhambra Library. And Human Resources basically said, we do not accept your application. Otherwise, they tell me to go fuck my mother's ass. I'm not getting the Library Aid job. I'm not even getting an interview. I'm not even getting a fucking interview. So I worked my last day. I picked up the Michael Jackson book, Thriller, the making of the movie Thriller. And I picked up a Mad Magazine book, collection of Mad Magazine parodies, movie parodies, and that was it. Those were my last things that I did. I didn't talk to Mandy anymore. I didn't talk to anybody that I worked with. I moved on. The woman, it was strange because I walked out of the library on my last day of working. I just worked the bookstore. I didn't do senior aid. We gave up on the senior aid for tech support. We gave up on the workshop community events for Chinese to learn English. We did, we did another event for seniors to play, to do recreation, like playing board games and card games and whatever they wanted to do. We gave that up. I remember that I did so many useful things and I didn't make any money. And when the Alhambra Library rejected me, it felt like shit. It felt worse than getting rejected by a girl. You think getting rejected by a girl is one thing, right? Getting rejected by society is a whole other motherfucker. Because then you just don't matter. Nothing you do fucking matters. And that's hard. I'm looking for these pieces here. These two pieces. There's two of them. Yeah, I mean, nothing you do is going to fucking matter. Everything you do is going to be shit. So, that Virginia Tech kid, the one that killed all those people, 16 years ago, I started to feel a little bit of his pain. But I wasn't about to go stalk girls in this day and age, and I wasn't about to do anything really dumb, and I couldn't walk back. So working at Universal, you know the story and why I quit. But I think in the 3 years since between the time I was doing library work, between the time I was trying to figure myself out, I realized I don't think I can work. I can't work at Starbucks. I can't work at McDonald's or Jack in the Box or Carl's Jr. or KFC or some convenience store. And I'm not qualified to work the more important jobs that are suit and tie jobs where I can. They just didn't want me. I was the wetback Negro of society. Nobody cared if I lived or died. It's still that way. I mean, there's only one person I talk to, really. And I don't know where I would be without her. But it's a long-distance relationship. And if she feels it's all fun and games, especially because she's busy modeling, then it's all fun and games. That's why I'm not like... That's why I can't tell you it all worked. That's why I can't tell you in a true force language. It all worked out, everybody. It's all worked out. Like I can't lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. I won't tell you the whole truth about my life, but I'm not going to lie to you and tell you it all worked out. I don't know what's happening. I have no idea. You don't, and I don't. Where's the other piece at? Man, this is turning out to be a bad venture. Because I put these pieces in here. Let me see if I can show you. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, this, see here are all the bag of Lego pieces, right? And so finding this piece, so I have to go by the instructions again and see what I got to do here. Yeah, honestly, it had changed me. I think it changed Joey Diaz, because I watched Joey Diaz this morning, and he pointed out the anniversary, and that's why I'm doing this video. It changed me. I mean, Joey Diaz moved back home from Hollywood back to New Jersey, and I've decided I'm done with the corporations. I'm done with the shitty fast food jobs. I'm done with the corporations. I want to work for the smaller people, and I have done it before, but I've screwed up many times, and I try not to screw up, and so I try to do better each time. And here we have, these are so that the hinges are better. So these things will hinge and they'll close. So where I'm at now is that I'm just putting up content on YouTube. I'm putting up content on TikTok. This year, I made a resolution to put more content on Twitter, and I will do so. And that's about it. That's all there is to that. I think where we are now is very different from where we were 2 or 3 years ago. 3 years ago, we were so certain about things, and now we're not so sure. We're not so sure where we are, where we're going, how we'll end up. But one thing is for sure, we will not make the same mistakes again. We will do better. We strive to do better. Can he sit like that? Yeah, there he is. I'm gonna end with that shot right there. That is something. All I can tell you is that you will be a better person from where you were 3 years ago to where you are now. I just don't know if I could trust anybody in this state. I really don't. I didn't trust Kamala Harris. I didn't trust Gavin Newsom. I didn't trust Antonio Villaraigosa. I don't even trust, I don't even know who the hell our mayor is. It's not Eric Garcetti anymore, right? I don't know what's going on. But we're in a different spot. So hopefully you did your gut check over the last 3 years, and hopefully you're doing better. I still have no friends. I still have no one who gives a shit. But as I told one guy in my Valentine's post, don't be the guy on the 5 o'clock news. If you're the guy that unleashes his anger on people for the life you have, they're just going to feel sorry for the victims, not you. Not to say that this guy did anything wrong, but you never know when somebody does something wrong. But you always anticipate the worst and try to hope for the best. If you like what you see, and this is good enough for you, you see those icons below or to the side, you know what to do.